I have recently made a decision which have my son and some other family members hating me for it, but my partner and I are together in this decision. We have an account with money saved for my son, who is currently 22. It isn't exactly college funds, because we has government subsidiary, but just N for easier referencing for Americans, savings we made since he was young, and they are intended for his school, family, business or whatever he needs when he turns adult. My son met this girl in his school when he was about 15 and had introduced her to us, and we were accepting for their relationship. We consider her our daughter and form good relationship with her parents. My son and the girl broke up a year ago when she got pregnant. He does not want the baby but she does, and she insisted giving birth with or without him around. I am not sure about their whole story, but since our families are close and both me and my partner like this girl, we decide to stay in her and our grandson's life, call her our goddaughter, while my son moved away to pursue his career. Being a single mother is hard, and because the girl's family is lesser well off than ours, we decide to use the savings we got for my son for our grandson and goddaughter. We even told her she can move in with us, though she declined. The door is open and we will provide any support we can for them. My son will be fine without them, he earns his own living and is not suffering from lacking. When my son got to know that we gave his money his ex, he got very upset and said that the money was promised to him, he may need them in future, and I'd choose his ex over him. He was already unhappy with us keeping our relationship with her family and baby, but this one made him feel like he got betrayed by his own family and have nobody to depend on. The explanation I gave him is that she need them now and need them more, well for him, it's money in case of emergency. Furthermore, the child is my grandson, whether my son like it or not, so we have every right to help our family. My son has turned this into a family drama, and some of the others in extended families are saying we did him wrong. Are we really? Not the idiot. It's money for your grandchild, not your son's ex. And it's money that you and your husband saved, therefore you have the final say in how it's spent. Your son may feel betrayed by you now, but how does he think his son is going to feel in years to come knowing his father abandoned him? You haven't betrayed your son, you've just prioritized your grandson who needs you a lot more right now. You're the idiot. When a guy wants a baby but the girl doesn't, it's her body, her choices, but when it's the other way around, the guy should step up and pay for a child he never wanted. You said it yourself, she has plenty of people to care for her, but your own child is on its own. Also, you didn't have to give her all of it. Plenty of single mom do well, there's plenty of help for single parent. Actually, your money might put her up in the income bracket and she might be entitled to nothing at all. Your son is an idiot. Will he not only pretend he has no responsibility over the child he fathered, but also ask you to let the ex, that he discarded like a used toy, struggle while she raises the kid by herself? Will he rejoice in knowing she lives in misery and can't finish college because she has to feed their son? He is the epitome of masculine toxicity. You should disown him, your goddaughter sounds more deserving of your respect and help than him. My sister Jane has 2 kids, 10 and 8. The 8-year-old is autistic and not always the easiest. He tends to only speak and cooperate with people he knows well. My daughter Kate, 17, is one of those people that he cooperates very well with. My sister is a nurse and due to the pandemic, she's been getting huge shift bonuses to pick up shifts. Her hospital is so short-staffed they are offering $700 per extra shift to pick up. This weekend she was offered up an even higher $1,000 bonus to work. My brother-in-law is working out of town currently so he couldn't watch their kids. My sister asked my daughter if she could watch her kids today, and after hearing about the bonuses, Kate said only if she'll pay her $500, so half the shift bonus for her to give up her Saturday. Jane freaked out and told her that's ridiculous and then called me to tell her what Kate demanded to babysit. I agreed it's a lot but also feel like it's not my call. I can't force her to babysit. I did remind Kate that she pays taxes on that bonus, so $500 is more than half effectively. She then said she'd go down to $400, but that's her bare minimum. Jane was offended still and ended up not taking the shift as she didn't find it worth it at that point. Now she's going off on me saying that as her dad, I could either make her do it or raise her better so she'd volunteer to. I feel like I'm just letting her do her own thing, but Jane sees it otherwise. Not the idiot. Your sister is the idiot because she's willing to let a 17-year-old deal with her autistic kid for 13 hours, but doesn't want to pay her accordingly with the work the 17-year-old has to do. I actually went from "you're the idiot" to "everybody is the idiot" to "not the idiot" because I realized as I was writing that your kid would have the responsibility of 2 kids for more than half a day and get a crappy pay, while your sister would work for half a day and get a $1,000 bonus. I get that your kid is only 17, but she's not a slave and she has the right to be respected. Where I'm from, a typical hospital shift is 12 hours. $400 for last-minute childcare for 2 children, one of which has special needs, for 12 hours is an absolute steal of a deal. Not to mention your sister is still going to get a regular shift pay on top of it, she's just giving up some bonus to make it happen. Your sister is taking voluntary shifts for an extra money, but can't pay for a babysitter. She's the idiot. If she wants out of the house that bad, she can pony up some cash. Your daughter's time should not be free, ever, and is worth what the market will bear. She's the market, so it's up to the 2 of them to work it out. Stay out of it. Not the idiot. You would be the idiot if you said anything but you 2 work it out on your own. Here's some context that's needed before I get to main conflict. I, 22, share an apartment with girlfriend, 20. Last weekend, my mother called and said she and my father hadn't seen me in a few months and wanted to come see us. Thing is, she wanted my brother, sister, who's married, and brother-in-law to come as well. Unfortunately, I don't really like brother-in-law, but I'm outwardly friendly to him. He has a bit of an ego, he's pretty nosy into our personal lives, and is needlessly snarky when he finds something he's superior at in a relationship when compared to me. One thing in particular he brags about is how him and my sis go out a lot. Mind you, this was pre-COVID when he said this, but he still goes to a lot of places, likely for social media attention and to flex all the places he's gone with sister. Despite this, he's been posting to social media less often and seems to be gaining weight. I'm not trying to body shame, this will be important later. Me and girlfriend are the opposite household, but we both prefer it. We don't go to places a lot and prefer to play video games and other indoor activities. We both have jobs though, obviously. My girlfriend self-describes herself as a bit overweight, but I disagree with her. Regardless, brother-in-law has quite openly and carelessly compared overweight to lazy right in front of my girlfriend, who's obviously self-conscious about her weight. He also makes fun of the stereotypical lazy household and brags about being active. I think you know where this is going. The day of the dinner started out pretty well. Brother-in-law was surprisingly nice until he wasn't. Right before dinner, brother-in-law noticed some junk food snacks we left on the coffee table from the night before. While I was trying to clean it up, brother-in-law walked up to us and said, "That's a lot of food, careful it might fatten you up." He could have been joking, but I don't know, that seems like an unnecessary thing to joke about. Girlfriend laughed it off but appeared visibly hurt afterwards. I was sick of brother-in-law's needless comments about our eating habits in our own home and was furious. At the dinner table, I remembered one of brother-in-law's recent Facebook stories where he was smiling at his dinner table to a considerable amount of food delivered to him, and the caption read, "Been fattening up since COVID, can't resist." I pulled out my phone, showed him the photo, and said, "Well, I guess there's room at the table for 2 lazy, overweight households, brother-in-law. Please watch your words before you belittle us again." Brother-in-law turned red, and he and my sister left after an argument. Later, my sister called and berated me for ruining the dinner, even claiming I was jealous of them. I stood my ground and said her husband was asking for it. Girlfriend was glad I stood up for her, but said I should have waited to confront brother-in-law in private. Am I the idiot? Everyone's the idiot here. Him for the obvious. You though, it's not because of what you had to say, it's how you say it. You won't realize this until you're older, but using a vehicle for expressing a thought, in this case a Facebook post, doesn't hold the same clout as a direct and firm, but respectful demand for manners. You didn't need to set a stage to point out how rude he was being, you literally just had to say, "You're being rude. Either behave or you won't be welcome anymore." Honestly, the best way to shut him down is to shut down the comments he makes to your girlfriend, not to wait until later and get him back. The point is that he is hurting your girlfriend's feelings. What you did absolutely did not address that at all. You're viewing this as about your pride and household. Not about your girlfriend's feelings, which you aren't addressing in the moment at all. You can pretend that your husband isn't a snarky, belittling, small individual all you like, but I won't tolerate it in my home. Neither of you are welcome here again, since that misbehavior is obviously not going to be addressed by you, it now has been by me. My wife and I don't deserve to be passive-aggressively maligned just to suit his inadequate feelings. Then leave her messages unread for a week. Then read them and leave them on read until she comes with something better or you decide to cut ties. My sister is having a child-free wedding out of town. The invites came a week ago and the wedding is in November. I knew the date for a couple of months before the invites and tried to make things work because my sister is having a child-free wedding. But I have 3 kids, 2 have autism, 1 is non-verbal and has delays and other issues that mean we need someone comfortable and trained in how to care for our child with more needs. Those people are expensive. Normally we have 1 babysitter on hand as well as family. But my family are going to the wedding, none of my husband's family are free the weekend of the wedding, my sister said no exceptions to the child-free rule, and we can't afford the prices some babysitters are, fairly, looking for in the period of time we need them for. My husband already isn't going, because it's his work's busiest time, and he's already scheduled for that weekend, so he can't watch our kids. And I can't figure anything else out. I have tried, but we are on a very tight budget due to therapies and other medical needs our kids have. My sister is furious. She told me anyone can figure it out in the time we've had. She told me that we can take the pay cut if my husband takes the week off or just hire a regular babysitter and save money that way. She told me if I don't show up at her wedding and stay for the entire thing our relationship will never change. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. If you can't afford it, what are you supposed to do? Like seriously? Sell an organ? Your sister clearly doesn't fully understand what it means to have special needs kids and what goes into taking care of them. I can understand that your sister wants you at your wedding, I would be heartbroken too. But you already tried every option and if your sister can't understand that, then she is acting a little selfish. She and your family members could definitely find a way to make this work, I think. The change in your relationship won't be due to you missing her wedding, it will be due to her extreme selfishness, stubbornness and lack of empathy. A regular babysitter would only cause undue stress to you worrying about them and themselves taking on care they probably aren't equipped for. As a mother of a spectrum kid, I know just how hard it is to find someone who knows what it may entail and who clicks with your kid. Stay at home, save your money and screw her. Your sister is entitled to a child-free wedding, but not every person or couple with children she invites has to show up. Any reason you give her should be valid, and she can deal with yours being things didn't align for your children to have appropriate cares. Even if you said you don't want to be away from them for that long, I'm assuming it's a longer trip since you mentioned she said your husband could take the week off, is absolutely valid. It seems like she doesn't spend a lot of time with your kids because she doesn't really understand the depth of what she's asking. My parents are divorced. It happened when I, 16, was 7 years old. I remember back then money was bad, and I learned pretty soon after my mom was terribly financially irresponsible. The cause for the divorce was she took out a secret credit card and racked up debt behind my dad's back, and then when he found out she refused to get help or get another job to pay off the debt. She has always had a thing for nice jewelry. Life with my mom was very tough. We were homeless on her time and would go from place to place. My dad had temporary custody of me for a while until she found a place. But then she would overspend and miss rent, so we moved around a crap ton. She met her husband when I was 9. He had an 8-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter. Together they were really bad with money. My dad ended up with temporary custody of me again because they blew $10,000 on a wedding when they didn't even have $500 in savings combined and had no help from family to pay. They had a baby while dealing with that debt and then another after she got some more custody of me, then they had a third. So, full-time they have 5 kids in the house, 6 with me. They are forced to move a lot because of their spending, and the kids don't have a lot of stuff. I spend Fridays and Saturdays there once a month and an occasional midweek dinner. My step and half siblings all want more time with me. They have asked to come home, to my dad's, with me. Sometimes they will try to interact with them and ask to be included in stuff. My mom always tries to get my dad to include them, but he says no. The other night she called and asked why I didn't try to include them more. I told her it was because I want to keep her from my dad. That she left him picking up some pretty horrible pieces, and he shouldn't have to make up for her actions again with her kids who are nothing to him. That my dad has done his very best to give me the stability she wants, and the least I can do is spare him from dealing with her again. She is still ranting at me for what I said. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, they're your siblings. They're not your children. If they want more time with you, then they can ask to have you around more. Your mom can rant and rave all she wants, you're setting a healthy boundary. She doesn't like it, she can get over it. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they either know how horrible their living situation is and are curious about what your life is like with your dad, or mom could be telling them to try to stay with you and dad because she wants some relief. Regardless, not your problem for setting a clear boundary. Not the idiot, oftentimes a lot of these posts don't have enough context for me to make a decision, but you are undeniably not the idiot. Your mom is the idiot for sure. I think the most grievous offense is expecting your dad or ex-husband to essentially take care of her children so they can spend more time with you. Like if she got her life and household together, you may want to spend more time there, but expecting that out of someone else isn't cool. You handled that way more mature than I would have at your age. Those kids may be your siblings, but you're 100% right. They don't have anything to do with your dad. You know what the whole situation was like in the past, probably from being dragged around that much, and, understandably, you want this stability. Besides, taking your dad's feelings into consideration, it's also clear why he wouldn't want to handle 5 other kids he doesn't really know. I'm guessing it's not only about spending more time with your siblings, but more like mommy needs to spend more time alone with her husband. Not the idiot. What your mom is really asking is for you to babysit and spend your dad's money on your step-siblings and half-siblings, and that's not really okay for her to expect. Your mom and stepdad's poor choices, both financial issues and having kids they can't afford, aren't your fault, and they aren't your responsibility to fix. It's possible that things may get to a point where you hardly ever spend time with your mom and sings at all. It's okay if that happens.